became chair of the Environmental Conservation Committee in, I believe, January of 2007. March of 2007. Beginning of the session in 2007. And it's quickly made his mark on environmental policymaking in New York State. Coming from a district in Long Island, he's keenly aware of the importance of the environment, of drinking water protection, of air quality protection, of habitat issues, both because his constituents in his home district care very much about those issues, but Assemblyman Sweeney is somebody who generally appreciates and fights for the much broader perspective. And we could not ask for a better champion on these issues in the State Assembly or in the state legislature more generally. So it is my pleasure to introduce Assemblyman Bob Sweeney.
Thank you, critters. I hope you're all back at your productive, regular job soon. We'll do our best to make it so. And I appreciated the opportunity to be here and in hearing some of your briefings. Rob and Dick Amper, a wonderful champion on Long Island. I don't know whether you want to copy Dick's lobbying style exactly. When you see members, probably, telling them they're not quick on the uptake might be a little problematic. We won't debate the merits of it, but it's effective. Dick is effective, and he's a wonderful champion, and it's good to have you here today, too, Dick. And this location, I mean, after all, you're asking all of us to get religion today and do the right thing. So, this is perfect. And I do appreciate, especially, we're celebrating the 40th Earth Day this year. So it's a wonderful, it's a wonderful occasion. It gives us a chance and reminds us, and you're going to be reminding everyone today, about our commitment to preserve and protect New York's environment, New Yorkers' health, because this is really a day when we all have to think about, legislators, individuals, everyone has to think about what our duties and responsibilities are to the New Yorkers of today and to New Yorkers tomorrow, one of whom we just met, actually, the Bob was up there. So no matter what part of the state you're from, this is a chance for us to all get together and talk about doing the right thing. Now, some of you may have heard these wild stories about Albany and bad things happening in Albany over the past year, and it really hasn't been a lot of fun for any of us. But, overlooked in some of the media attention on other subjects have been some of the good things that have happened over the past year. We want to take just a second before we talk about what's going to happen today and for the remainder of the session to talk about some of the things that have happened over the past year. And we probably should start off, and Laura's right over here among others, but we ought to start off by talking about what happened a year ago, when finally, after decades of effort, the bigger, better bottle bill became law as part of last year's budget. Was, as many of you know, a bill that passed year after year in the Assembly, and last year we were able to get the support of the Senate and the governor and get it done in the budget. It took a little while, then it went to the courts, and it went here and it went there, and it took a little while to get it done, but it's done. For the time being, because of course eventually we want to expand on it, but for the moment we will revel in the success that you have all had, because the reason that this happened was because of the real grassroots effort that so many of you put into that idea year after year, and the persistence, and it paid off. And now it's law in New York State. There were some other things that happened last year too, and that I want to take just a second to point out, because again, they were significant things that will make a difference, but did not necessarily get a lot of media attention. And the first is the legislation that the Assembly spearheaded, Green Jobs, Green New York program, which funds loans for energy audits and energy efficiency retrofits to homes, small businesses, and not-for-profits, which will potentially create tens of thousands of jobs at a time when we can really use them. Give the state an economic shot in the arm, but more importantly, it's going to grow our economy. It's going to expand the use of proven green energy technologies that will revolutionize the way we power our homes and our businesses. That was one of three bills that became law that were kind of all headed in the same direction. The second was one that is the key to increasing the use of sustainable, cheap energy to make these technologies available to consumers. So last year we passed a bill that allows cities, towns, and villages to tap into federal funds to establish a sustainable energy loan program. So that now participating municipalities in New York State, homeowners and businesses who want to install solar technology, for example, on their property can apply for loans that can be easily applied to their annual property tax bill. They'll pay it back on their property tax bill. And there was the third legislation along the same lines, residential energy efficiency program that was signed into law last year that helps decrease the use of fossil fuel and other carbon culprits. It expanded the definition of waste for garbage districts to include carbon, which will allow towns to include home energy efficiency programs within their districts within the towns. I'm very proud that my town, the town of Avalon, actually initiated this whole idea on Long Island, and now other towns will be able to do this too. So they can finance home energy audits, energy conservation programs, and improvements to homes that will go a long way to reducing their carbon footprint. So, and we're actually seeing these programs in use around the state. Now, this year, we're dealing with a whole set of issues, and I want to make mention of one, which while it is really not on the agenda for today, is certainly an issue that we are grappling with and will continue to deal with as this session goes on, and that is the whole issue of hydrofracking in the Marcellus Shale. This year, I have personally introduced 5 bills that I think will go far to addressing what I see as the gaping holes in the SGEIS on natural gas drilling in the Marcellus Shale, an issue that has ramifications for millions of New Yorkers. I want to make sure, as I am sure that all of you do, that if hydrofracking should be approved, it will be done first and foremost with consideration to the protection of drinking water and open space, something which I think in the existing rules and regulations does not adequately exist right now. We have a long ways to go before that's something we could even think about in this state. And so we will be working very hard on the Assembly side to push legislation, to push DEC, to push the governor, to push others to understand that this is an issue that has tremendous ramifications for the environment of the state. We need to resist the apparent temptation for a quick buck over all of the danger that this poses to our environment. And if money is going to be the issue, then let us not forget that in the past, we can look at similar issues, similar sites, point to how many Superfund sites and how many brownfields around the state that are the result of poor planning, poor implementation, and poor decisions in the past. Let's not have more of that in the future. In the budget proposal that the Assembly passed this year, and it is our proposal, obviously, we don't have a final product yet, I do want to make mention of the fact that we did propose in the Assembly to fully fund state parks and keep all of them open. We voted to increase funding of what the governor provided for the EPF. Not as much. I will be